Sensational. Head-turning. You won't believe it till you read it.
What are you talking about, Paige?
Oh, Brandi! I've got a pile of hot gossip and celebrity sightings to share with you, and those of you lucky enough to be listening to this episode of Spectacular Specimens.
This is a show where Paige and I take turns showing each other
And you,
some incredible specimens.
as in a collection of dead animals.
Yes, specimens. At Seattle's Burke Museum of Natural History and Culture.
I'm gonna spill some piping hot tea, Brandi, some juicy goss on someone who's the most talked about in our city.
The mayor?
No! I mean the real celebrities in our midst. The biggest animal predator that prowls our streets, coyotes.
Predator as in something that hunts and kills other animals for food?
Yep. We find out who are these celebrity canines really. With help from a coyote investigator, we'll have exclusive stories, how to greet a coyote, and the scoop on their poop.
Breaking news and all the juicy details on today's edition. Specimen Confidential.
Insightful, delightful, let's learn about the life cycle, solving mysteries with the power of curiosity. Creatures give us clues, unearth and uncover, spiders, bats, fossils, and birds, one after another. Let's open the box, dare you to look in, teeth, bones, wings, fur, spectacular specimens. Spectacular specimens. Spectacular specimens. So much to learn from our not so furry friends. Spectacular specimens.
This just into our special edition show, Specimen Confidential. Specimen Confidential. A girl was walking her dog this morning, and there it was. A coyote spotted trotting through the grass. What was it up to? Was it hunting down breakfast? And who would be breakfast today? Specimen Confidential.
The sensational details on the city coyote, all coming up.
Okay, so Paige, are we inside a gossip news show now?
We're inside a news show because, Brandi, coyotes are kind of the celebrities of the animal world. People can't get enough of them.
There's the coyote now. It's walking up someone's driveway, looking hungry. Get a photo.
Because just about any time a coyote walks around in the city, people are snapping photos, texting their friends, even writing news stories about it. You've heard the stories, I'm sure.
Oh, you know I'm up on the latest. I've totally heard about the coyotes in our city.
There are countless stories about coyotes. People love to talk about them, and honestly, it's nothing new. Native American tribes have been telling stories about coyotes since time immemorial, thousands of years. The animal shows up in so many stories. The coyote's considered an important teacher and relative to many tribes. And Brandi, I know someone who collects coyote stories, rumors, and tips for her job. Meet Sam Krelling, coyote investigator.
I work at the Burke to kind of understand what coyotes are doing in their daily lives, how healthy they are, and kind of understanding their diet and genetics.
Sam's a PhD student at the University of Washington and runs the Seattle Coyote Study. And now, Sam's first scoop of the day, she's going to tell us what city coyotes look like.
Welcome to Specimen Confidential's Style section. Specimen Confidential. Every look you need to know about.
So coyotes kind of look like a wiry-looking dog. They're very lanky. They have this kind of grayish, reddish, orangish fur that's very mottled and has some kind of like patterning to it. They have nice pointy ears to help them listen through the environment. They often have like pieces of fur missing or scars on their faces, things like that.
Their coats are gray and red, thick and a little shabby, but designed to weather the elements of wintry city streets. Next time on Specimen Confidential, the surprising colors of coyote teeth.
And Brandi, coyotes are not that big. We're talking 30 pounds max. A golden retriever is like twice that size.
Okay, but even so, no one is keeping coyotes as pets, so why do some coyotes live in the city, near people?
That's the question Sam asks each coyote specimen that she dissects.
Dissects? That's how far Sam has to go to get the facts?
But it's for science, and we get to do some science today. Sam's invited us into the lab to watch her dissect 3 coyotes.
Ooh, am I gonna need goggles for this?
You'll be fine, but it is a little bit bloody in here, so prepare yourself.
Coming up next on Specimen Confidential, scientist Sam shows us what's inside the guts of 3 coyotes. Specimen Confidential.
Just a touch dramatic in that news alert.
Over the top news? Who, us?
Specimen Confidential. And Specimen Confidential is back. Time to get up close and personal with 3 famous furballs. We go where no paparazzi has gone before.
Welcome to the dissection lab at the Burke Museum.
Am I in the splash zone?
No, this one's pretty frozen, so things shouldn't get anywhere. Hopefully, at least.
They store a lot of specimens in here, but some of the most popular are coyotes. Brandi, can you see the long shelf at the back of the lab?
Is that a line of coyote specimens?
Yep, laying side by side. They all died somewhere in the Seattle area, some naturally, and they're in line to be dissected. This room is where coyotes get to share their side of the story.
What do you mean?
Well, living coyotes can't talk to us, even in all the news stories we tell about them, but their body can communicate. It can show us things like what they ate, where they lived, and even if they had kids.
I kind of look at it as a way to actually kind of honor that animal's life. They may have died, but we can, use what's left of them to understand about their health, about their genetics, what they're eating.
So let's find out.
Yeah, so the first cut we do usually goes all the way around the shoulder blade, and that allows us to open the thoracic cavity.
Sam is very carefully dissecting the specimen. It's laying on a stainless steel counter, kind of like you'd see in a bakery, and she gently cuts it with a scalpel. And she has a list of what to check on each specimen: fur, tongue, heart, lungs, intestines.
We will skin the heads because the skulls stay in the museum. They become part of the collections. Otherwise, we're going to break into the chest cavity where the heart and the lungs are, and then we'll move into the abdominal cavity where the intestines are, and we'll take a bunch of samples in there.
The intestines tell a lot about a coyote.
Yeah, so you can see what they've been eating, so we can figure out kind of what's in their stomach, so we can see if there's seeds or hair or bones of any kind and identify those.
And next on the list, she's got to check the heart and lungs.
And if you guys want to put gloves on and feel around, you're welcome to.
Put gloves on.
Okay, so we have some lung tissue, and if you want to feel this, it's also a little bit, it's a little frozen,
cold.
yeah, so it feels a little bit different.
I'm trying to think of what it might feel like. Salmon?
Yeah, like salmon, yeah, it's like kind of spongy.
Exactly,
Yeah.
like a swordfish or a tuna.
Yeah. Like a really nice sushi cut.
And remember, this is how coyotes talk to Sam.
And I think this one's lungs are saying it had a pretty good life because, although kind of slimy, they looked pretty healthy.
Yeah, but sometimes Sam sees signs that it had a hard life.
We can look for lots of different things, how much fat on their body, if they have a liver that's spotty, or, plaques on their heart. And from that, we can understand what diseases they may have had, or whether they come into contact with rat poison or lead or other heavy metals.
Another thing she inspects a lot is the canine teeth. She's got a collection of skulls with the teeth intact. Whoa! Oh my gosh.
these
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
guys.
6, 7, 12 coyote skulls.
Yeah, lots.
And that
of
one
them
says
in
your name
there.
with 2 exclamation points.
Look at canines, Sam. You can also see how broken they are.
Oh,
We've had some, an interesting skull come out lately that the teeth were all purple. So that was also kind of odd. We don't know why.
Specimen Confidential style guide moment. Purple teeth. Specimen Confidential.
So there's lots of weird things you can learn from these guys. And then we can educate people about how to live with coyotes a little bit more and how to kind of live in harmony with them.
Harmony? With a predator?
Actually, yes, because this predator isn't out to get us. It's just trying to make it in the city.
I keep hearing stories from friends that they've seen coyotes and hear them howling across the city.
News headline alert. Hungry coyote spotted on someone's porch.
I hear so many coyote stories. It kind of seems like they're everywhere. How many coyotes actually live in the city?
You might be surprised to know there are a lot of coyotes in pretty much every city in America. Some get photographed on home cameras, but most of them are just too sneaky to get spotted.
Pretty much all neighborhoods in Seattle have at least one coyote roaming around. You just might not know they're there. They'll be walking around green spaces, down the streets.
In the arboretum, on walking trails. One was just chilling in someone's driveway recently.
Pretty much anywhere you go, a coyote might be. But they're just really smart, so they know how to navigate the city, sometimes better than people probably do.
Why are they living in the city? Aren't these country animals?
They like the city because it's easy living.
So there's lots of coyotes in the city, mainly because there's tons of food here and they're very adaptable. That makes their life probably a lot easier than in other areas.
And with plenty of food around, mom coyotes have bigger puppy litters.
They're actually in much higher density in pretty much any city that exists. They don't even necessarily need to hunt a lot of the time. There's enough food that they can kind of just scavenge for it. They have a lot higher survival rates in cities generally.
If you go to San Francisco, lots of coyotes live in neighborhoods there. Or Denver, Coyote Central.
Boston, New Haven, Atlanta.
Yep, lots of coyotes. They're all over. They love to be little city slickers.
Sam said there's plenty of food for coyotes to scavenge in cities. I mean, besides leftover pizza, what else is there?
Actually, it's a pretty long menu.
Fact time. Coyotes will eat anything looking like a snack. And they never wait for a reservation.
And there's more. Coyotes love to hunt the animals we humans don't like to have around. Rats.
Today in our Celebrity Chef segment, how to make a coyote spread. Cooking for a crowd? We've got you.
They eat lots of pests. So from rabbits to rats, they can help us control those kind of prey populations that aren't native to here. The rabbits that are all over the city, they chew up our gardens, they spread diseases.
So basically, they're helpful little hunters. And that's one reason humans kind of like having coyotes around.
Nature's pest control.
And they play another really cool role. All coyotes are gardeners. And Brandi, here's where poop enters the conversation.
So they eat tons and tons of fruit, apples like salmonberry and things like that. And when they eat those, they don't actually process the seeds from the fruit, and so they poop it out.
Specimen Confidential just received a hot pile of goss. When we snack on wild berries, they may be grown from coyote poop.
What about the rumors that coyotes eat people's cats? I hear that one a lot.
Actually, you're right. Coyotes are the top predator in cities. But maybe not as often as you think.
If I lost one cat, that would be one too many for me.
Yeah, of course, I know. But there is kind of a fear in some cities that coyotes are a scary animal out to get people's pets. And that's not always quite right.
Okay, well, what's true and what's false?
True and false? Sounds like the perfect time to play Check the Facts.
You won't want to miss this. Today's Check the Facts round is gonna turn heads and maybe turn some stomachs. We investigate the truth behind coyote rumors.
Ooh, that's journalism. Yeah, let's fact check some rumors.
Okay, go ahead. Think of all the gossip and bad stories you hear about coyotes. Maybe something a friend told you, or even something on the news. And when we come back, we'll ask Sam how dangerous coyotes really are.
Pizza break. Hey, have you downloaded your activity book yet? Well, there's some pretty cool stuff in there. There's a beetle room maze, space to write your own stories, some pretty awesome drawing prompts like, what does a sea otter dinner party look like? And there's a super special birdwatching journal, just so you can track all the birds you spot. You can grab your free copy through the link in our show notes.
Hey, fans, it's time to play Check the Facts with Paige and Brandi.
Where we find the truth behind the coyote rumors everyone wonders about. Brandi, do you have your true or false questions ready for our expert, Sam Krelling?
Yep.
Sam, Brandi, let's begin.
Rumor 1. Coyotes will eat people's pets.
True?
It is true. They do eat outdoor cats especially. So if you have, outdoor cats, maybe consider bringing them inside.
I knew it.
Hang on, though. That's not the only reason cats go missing.
I would not necessarily blame the coyote first. Raccoons can eat cats and chickens as well.
Next rumor, coyotes are showing up where they never lived before, like the streets of Seattle and other big cities.
Coyotes have been here for a pretty long time. They've been here as long as any of the people here have been.
And she's just talking about in cities. Coyotes have existed for way longer than people have been on the earth.
Okay, we've got one true and one false. Next rumor, coyotes bite people. I hear stories all the time about kids getting bit.
It happens very, very rarely. And so the only bites recently that I've heard of, those coyotes did eventually get removed, but they are also being fed by people. So they kind of start to associate people with food and then going up to them to try and get, like snacks and handouts.
So it's rare, but biting does sometimes happen. Now that's how you fact check a story. Ask the experts.
It's good to know that coyotes rarely bite humans or eat our pets, but it does happen sometimes, so how do we address the coyote rumor mill? Should we believe coyotes are dangerous to people?
Well, Sam can't say with certainty that coyotes are never dangerous to people, but she does know they're not looking to cause trouble. They don't actually want to interact with humans.
You're much more likely to get bitten by your neighbor's dog than a coyote wandering around your neighborhood.
But there's something else to know. Even if coyotes can be a little dangerous to humans or small pets, the danger also goes the other way. In cities, humans are the biggest threat to coyotes. Humans remove them if they've bitten someone.
Like picked up and moved somewhere in the woods?
No. Removed means humans track the coyote down and kill it.
We are definitely not getting a G rating for this episode.
That's actually how most of the coyote specimens ended up in the science lab at the Burke Museum in Seattle. They had conflict with humans, you might call them conflict coyotes, but some died because they were hit by cars or ate something poisonous.
We do get calls about dead ones, so we are at least my lab, we go out and pick them up off of I-5 and all of those things. Usually they don't get removed unless there's like a physical altercation that happens between a coyote and a person, if, someone gets accidentally bit. But there are stories of, citizens taking matters into their own hands and removing those coyotes in their neighborhoods as well.
So, Paige, what are you supposed to do when you see a coyote?
Even though most coyotes are trying to keep to themselves, there are basic wildlife safety tips for coyote encounters.
Specimen Confidential, news you can use.
You usually hear a coyote before you see it.
Yeah, they're often just trying to reconnect with their family members, basically. They're basically just saying, like, hey, I'm over here, where are you?
So if you're trying to figure out if a coyote is nearby, step 1 is to listen. Step 2, look for their poop, also known as scat.
If you see kind of a scat that looks kind of ropey and full of hair, it's probably a coyote and not a domestic dog.
I am not picking that up.
And if you do see a coyote, the best way to greet them is to not interact at all. Just leave them alone.
For the most part, if you see one, it probably is not too interested in you, so you can just stand there, watch it. If it does come close and you feel scared or anything, you can throw rocks near it. It'll go away. You can also try and be just loud. They don't really like when people are loud or big, so you can like wave your hands or yell at it.
And actually, I've tried this, Brandi, and it pretty much worked. I just ignored it, then I did throw some stones when it started approaching.
Well, I still haven't seen one in real life, but now I know it doesn't want me up in its face like paparazzi.
This coyote photo is going on the front page.
How are you feeling about having this predator living in the city?
Okay, so I know coyotes aren't leaving the city anytime soon, and I feel a little more comfortable knowing that they're around. I know they could bite me, but now I also know they don't want to.
You know what? I'm ready to have a big think about this.
I'm down.
Big think! The big think question is, how can we be better neighbors with coyotes? Let's take some time to chew on it. Hey, did you know this show's actually being made because of the people who support KUOW Public Radio? Yep, we love them. If you want to help out, go to kuow.org/spectacular. Get time to think? Brandi, we've got a big think question we haven't answered yet. The big think is, how can we be better neighbors with coyotes? So Brandi, the way I see it, coyotes are going to keep living in the city. Life's good for them here. They'll keep hunting rabbits, rats, and sometimes outdoor chickens or cats they can find, which means we humans won't stop worrying about coyotes and telling stories about them. But then Sam at the Burke Museum pointed out we kind of need coyotes. They're really important for our environment, especially in cities. So to be a good neighbor, it's going to be best if we just stay out of each other's ways. Brandi?
So here's what I think. I don't think that I have to love something even if it makes the environment better. Instead, I can just accept that it lives here just like me, that we both deserve to exist in this space. Maybe we could have more harmony with coyotes if we live at a distance, stay out of each other's way.
Living in harmony doesn't mean living without fear. Maybe a little fear of coyote is healthy, so we're not getting up close to them. We shouldn't feed them, shouldn't bother them. And in turn, they actually help us out. They eat city pests and work as city gardeners.
Coyotes in the city? That sounds like a sick drawing prompt. I would love to see that.
Ooh, yeah. You can see that activity and more when you download your free Spectacular Specimens activity book. You can find that and all kinds of ways to be in touch in the show notes.
Join us for the next Spectacular Specimens and send us your pictures.
Spectacular Specimens is a production of KUOW Public Radio in Seattle and the Burke Museum of Natural History and Culture, with fact-checking by April Craig. It's created by me, Paige Browning.
And me, Brandi Fullwood.
Our theme music is by the one, the only, Emily Noakes, and mixed by the real deal, Eric Blood. Emily Noakes also composed a lot of the music on this episode. If you like Spectacular Specimens and want to hear more episodes, will you leave us a review or a rating? It really, really helps. Talk soon.
Bug you later.
Inside